Oh, why hello there, folks. It is I'm here today. Let's do this, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for stopping by. If you don't already know, Tuesdays and Thursdays are the days in which we do Q&A sessions when I answer any and all of your guys' questions. So if you got any for me, please feel free to ask away. But before we jump into it, as always, we do weekly giveaways. All you have to do to enter is leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm excited to be here. So sorry once again for Tuesday. Tuesday was a hectic day. It's been a hectic week, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a hectic 2 weeks. But I'm glad to be here. Let's have some good discussion. And time to give a couple of shout outs to those people that are here so far. Swirly, Catchem, Scratchem, Collectible, TT, Catchem all Catchem all TCG. A lot of Catchems today. Mikkel, Matthew, Fernando, Senpai, Sarima. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I apologize if not. Tori, good to see you. Hermit, Luigi, Collector J, Eli, always late. Yeah, I wonder why. It's high definition Eli. What's up, Hermit? And did I give a shout out to Matthew? I did give a shout out to Matthew. All right, cool. The BG music is too loud. Really? It says it's super low on my end. I'll turn it down a little bit more. Hopefully, I literally have it so that my microphone is like right in my face. So hopefully I should be sounding good, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully the background music's not too loud. But let's have a conversation about the overall Pokemon market, folks. Let's have a conversation about what's going on. Obviously, you guys know what the most recent videos we've been discussing. It's Crown Zenith was Monday's video, and then we didn't get to really talk about that because I had to leave, but still, it's worth a conversation. And then yesterday's video being Silver Tempest and Lost Origin. I am a huge fan of all three of these sets, and I'm going to be putting heavy bags for sure on it. When I look away, the volume gets lower. Okay, well, hopefully, maybe I go back a little bit. Hopefully, this isn't hopefully this is good. I'm sorry. It makes sense if I turn away like this. No, it makes sense. I just have to move the mic with me when I'm moving back, I guess. So that I can look at the screen and like also carry the mic with me, because I can move the mic, right? Let's have a conversation about some things, though, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, the first piece of conversation, Obsidian Flames. It's at 109. Okay, so it's gone down. It has gone down. I mean, it's not doing well. I'm not excited about that. It is not looking pretty, to say the least. Oh yes, the 2023 collector chest. Everyone wants to know about that. So for those of you guys that don't know, there was a video that was posted by PokeRev that apparently the collector chests, there was an error print where it has an ultra rare or better within the tins. So that's interesting. As far as it goes, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, obviously it's not guaranteed. I was told that it's a low supply of them, but I mean, that's pretty good. Is the music better now? Hopefully the music is better. Wow, it seems to be loud. Let me know if the music's a little too loud on your guys' end. I turned it all the way down. Like super low. Like a little bit too low, maybe. Open some for science. That would be a good video. Open like a case of them just to confirm, is it true or not? Not true. I opened a case before the news video. Yes, okay. Okay, so it's better now. That's good. These dudes on Facebook selling Obsidian Flame sleeves for $3 Canadian and for $2.50 if you buy more than 50 sleeves. Do I chance the cop or too good to be true? I don't think that's unrealistic of a price, but obviously make sure that if you're going to be buying it, you use gifts and services to be safe than sorry. I just can't bring myself to trust Facebook sellers. Here in Iowa, they all sell shoes that are way too over. Oh wait, hold on. They all sell shoes too, or way overvalue the cards. Always feel sketchy. I mean, I've bought off of Facebook before. It's just something where you got to use GNS. I mean, simple as that. Pretty easy. Pretty simple. Hello from Jamaica. What's up, Doppel? Good to see you, brother. Rank these sets from best investment to worst. Vivid Voltage, Battle Styles, Chilling Reign, Fusion, Brilliant Stars, Astral Radiance. I would probably say that in order, it's probably going to be Brilliant Stars, Chilling Reign. Ooh, man. After that, it gets sketchy. Because I'm trying to see where I put Fusion and Astral above one another. Because I think Fusion has much better main hits, right? And it's got the Mew, it's got the Celebi, it's got the Gengar. So I guess I'm going to go Fusion. I'm going to say Fusion. Then I'm going to go Astral. Then I'm going to go Battle Styles. Then I'm going to go Vivid Voltage. But I could be wrong, right? I mean, you have to give me a time frame on this too. If we're talking 3 to 5 years, 5 to 10, 1 to 2, because at the end of the day, like of all of these, Vivid Voltage is going to be one of the better performing on the list just based on the fact that it's already out of print. But to be fair, Battle Styles, Chilling Reign, Fusion, all of these ones that you just listed also might be out of print just based on how the Pokemon company's gone forward with things. I mean, that's just why I've been so high on Lost Origin and Silver Tempest, right? Which, I mean, Lost Origin, for some reason, is starting to take a dive, whereas Silver Tempest is holding relatively stronger, right? But either way, it's fantastic. It's fantastic opportunities as always to pick either up. It was duplicated by CTR and Danny Phantom just now. Okay, so it seems like other people have figured it out. What distributors are they getting it from? That's the real question I need to figure out. Vs are considered ultra rares. That is true. Already answer that question. Is TCG Player a good for buying on a budget? It's not the worst. I think the thing about TCG Player that is the nicest when it comes to overall purchasing of product is there's a lot more transparency in the reviews that you can trust, right? I mean, obviously when it comes to Facebook and these other marketplaces, you can get better deals. And obviously, like I said, if you do GNS. But ultimately, at the end of the day, if hypothetically something does happen and you do GNS, there's still a chance of something happening and you having to deal with the stresses of that and have to deal with the time of that. And that can be a bit annoying. And although that in theory could technically happen on TCG Player too, but that's mainly only if you go with a bad review person versus where if you go with someone who's got a really good review, TCG Player tends to take care of you. Like their support, I hate that they don't have a phone number line, but in terms of taking care of their customers that purchase, they're very, very good about it. And so ultimately it's one of those things where you're going to pay a slightly larger premium depending upon the item, right? Like you got to make sure you're also looking at other places too, right? Because for example, Scarlet and Violet booster boxes, you can go get them for $95, right? On here, but you can probably get them at other places for $90, $91, $92. And depending upon the places that you're getting them for, how trustworthy are there is what you determine for yourself whether it's worth picking them up versus getting them for what is wholesale right now. Same can be apply to other items as well when it comes to product that has its own market, right? Because eBay prices versus TCG Player prices versus Mercari prices and all these other selling places, they have their own market price for what people are buying for within that community because it's completely different. It's a completely different base of buyers. Fusion is better than chilling. I would disagree with that, but that's just me. I can understand that just based on the fact that you have a Mew, you have a Gengar, you have an Espeon. So you've got 3 strong characters, right? And those 3 strong characters are strong characters. They're some of the best, psychic type cards that you can get, right? And I say cards obviously because Gengar's not psychic, he is a ghost. But as far as it goes when taking a look at Chilling Reign as a whole, once you get past Fusion and those main 3, what do you want? Do you want a Sandaconda alternate art? Do you want a Greedent alternate art? Do you want Inteleon or a Genesect alternate art? Most people, maybe you like the Dancing Genesect. Sorry for those that are fans of it, but for me, I don't think I care. And when I go in and I take a look at a set like Chilling Reign and I look at the cards, you've got one of the best alternate art designs by far. We've seen the Sword and Shield era with the Galarian Moltres. It's incredible. We've got an amazing art design and amazing chase card with the Blaziken for Gen 3, right? You've got a golden Snorlax, which I know it's not an alternate art, but for a golden card, it's a Snorlax, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, let's be real. It's still something people chase after. And then when you start looking at the rest of the cards, you have to understand the context of this set and why it's going to do well in the long term. It's because even though the characters are, unless you consider these to be in the same realm of the OG, which I don't like to compare them to the OG trio of birds because I think they're their own thing, even though they are the same names, just different variants. I look at them a little bit different in terms of feel. It's not like a first edition or a first gener is going to be like, yo, I'm a huge fan of the Galarian Moltres because of the fact that it's a Gen 1 Pokemon. Like, you can say that they're a huge fan because they're a Moltres fan because of Gen 1, but it's not the same, if that makes sense. But I kind of digress with that. The point that I'm trying to, I guess, make with it is when I look at this set, people like the alternate arts within it because the art designs are immaculate. They're very whimsical. They're very gorgeous. Do I care about Rapidash or Galarian Rapidash in Pokemon? Not really, but this is an amazing art design. Most of these art designs were so well crafted, and there's so much to pull as well within the set, right? And at the end of the day, too, we're talking about just cards within it. From an opening perspective, when it comes to alternate arts, if I'm going to open a set and I say to myself, what's the worst alternate art I could pull, right? Okay, it's an Ice Rider Calyrex. Right now, that Ice Rider Calyrex is going for roughly $17, $18, right? Obviously, money doesn't matter, but if you're not hitting what you want to hit, then money does matter because you're going to want to buy more packs, right? Now, when I go to Fusion Strike and I look at the set overall, right, it's got a really cool Gengar art. It's got a really cool Espeon art. If I'm being completely honest, I think the Mew art's kind of lackluster, but, maybe that's a hot take. Maybe it's not. You've got the Inteleon. You've got the Genesect. But when you go down to some of the lower alternates that you can pull, and we start talking about the Greedent, we start talking about the Sandaconda, which, where is the Sandaconda? It's not even on the first page as an alternate art, ladies and gentlemen. It is on the second page. It is an alternate art going for $4. It's going for $3.74. An alternate art is going for $3.74. So when you were pulling alternate arts and you were opening Fusion and you were like, oh my gosh, I see a glimmer in the back. I've been opening 72 packs because the odds are 1 in 72 and I finally get it. I finally get that alternate art I've been chasing for so long. And then it's a Sandaconda? How is that not one of the worst feelings ever in the world, right? And maybe people aren't going to care in the long term because they're just going to be like, well, I just care about the cards in the set. It's fun to collect. Still, the argument still stands strong because Sandaconda is so bad and so is Greedent as an alternate art. No one is going to look back and say, man, remember Fusion Strike? And, it had amazing alternate arts such as Gengar, Espeon, and Mew, but it also had some of the worst alternate arts with Greedent and Sandaconda, right? And that's why I think you have to look at it versus when you go look at Chilling Reign, there's not a card or two that you can point to and say, wow, these two or this one card is terrible and it brings down the set. because every one of the alternate arts in the set, whether you like the character or not, because there's a lot of Galarian versions, the art designs of them are incredible. And that's something that I think is what's going to make Paldea Evolve be an amazing set in the long term, because Paldea, it's got some amazing art designs. And I think that history is going to show art designs are going to be, they're going to be a huge factor. They're going to be a huge factor. I mean, there's a reason why the Latios and Latias is doing as well. I understand, like, Latios and Latias, you know, they're amazing characters. But if we look at the performance of Latios and Latias cards, unless we're talking like a Gold Star, they're not usually top performing cards or cards that are thrown in sets a lot. And so when you have one that has such a unique art design that people enjoy, it's kind of like the Aerodactyl. I don't give a crap about Aerodactyl as a Pokemon. You throw an amazing art design like that at me, oh my gosh, it now becomes one of my favorite alternate arts by far, and I'm super high on it. Let's see. Poke Collector J says BS Chilling Fusion AR Vivid Voltage Battle Styles. Yep, the only thing we switched was Vivid and Battle Styles, which there's an argument to be made that Vivid will perform better than Battle Styles. I think that's honestly that's a good point based on the fact that it has a Pikachu as the main set. And although the value of the cards are not that much right now and there's a ton in supply, the Amazing Rares when they first came out were a huge hit. I do not know how to buy Chinese Pokemon. I mean, I could learn how to buy Chinese Pokemon. I'm just not super interested, so I couldn't give you good advice. I apologize. I think they're all East Coast. Danny is Midwest, I believe, and I'm Southwest. So your camera got better in your recent video. Seems to be higher quality. Just want to point that out. Well, yeah, actually, so Mark, we recently just upped the quality production, which is so funny because I didn't get to discuss this on Tuesday because we didn't have a Tuesday live. But, you know, I've had so many different feedbacks from people on it. I've had feedback that they're like, wow, I love the production quality. And then I've had some people be like, wow, Eli, it feels as if you're reading a script and you feel more monotone, and it feels as if your, you know, editing style is trying to copy PokeRev. And I'm like, okay, a couple of things. First and foremost, I'm actually not reading off a script. That's just how I'm talking in the context of the video. Which it's funny because I think maybe because of the higher mic, my inflection points are shown a lot differently than what it was previously with my conversation. Maybe it's because I'm trying to talk a little bit more professional because I want the professional style. But to me, you know, I'm trying to be, Eli with Pokemon USA, right? Now in terms of the editing, for some people saying it's somewhat like PokeRev, so my editor is PokeRev's editor. So that is why the editing style is that way. And obviously, you know, I have my own kind of twist to it with the throwing charts at you and popping up images and icons and stuff just to make it feel like it's more on par with what I'm trying to do, because it is. But obviously you have some transitions that do look like that because it's some of the same transitions as PokeRevs. So, but I have a couple of things here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. This is the second day of a high quality video, right? We had Monday and we had Wednesday. I was going to post a short video on Tuesday, but I didn't because we had some quality issues with it. And I addressed that today, and I'm going to be recording a short video today, so we should have that. It's going to mainly just be recaps of what the long form videos were, but for shorts content, right? And then we're going to have Friday's video because I told you guys we're going Monday, Wednesday, Friday now. So and it's going to be a progressive thing that I'm going to learn, right? Because at the end of the day, it's just the channel is all about progressively improving, right? Constantly getting better and showing that with quality of both content and, you know, quality of overall production value, right? So I'm here to work on that every video that we keep pushing out. My distro is Poke and I get the same results. What's up, Hermit Man? Well, that's probably a good transition, man. If you guys don't know as well, we obviously talked about it in yesterday's video, but if you do want to get pricing for close to wholesale, if not wholesale, for like the Crown Zenith ETB, and you want to find a place to get it for $30 a piece, wholesale program is the place to do it. Links down in the description below if you want to join. But yeah, we've got pre-order pricing right now for Crown Zenith ETBs at $30 a pop. And then on top of that too, if you want to be able to get some other product such as booster boxes of Silver Tempest and Lost Origin for 108, 109 a piece, then also join the program. That's the cheapest you're going to be able to find it anywhere else. I promise you the value is well worth it for the monthly fee. I know some people get turned off by the monthly fee, but if you take a look at our first 3 tiers, they sold out so fast because people see the value that's within it, because not only is there a ton of money being made off of Pokemon and the margins you can make off of buying that sealed product and building up allocations, but you also get access to Yu-Gi-Oh! Flesh and Blood Magic, so much more. And we've got people that know nothing about Magic that are making so much money off of Magic, right? And we've got people that know nothing about Pokemon that are making so much money off of Pokemon. So you don't have to be an expert. We have guides to help you, and we have an amazing community of individuals as well that can tell you what they do to make money using the program. So I highly recommend you obviously join and take advantage of that. But yeah, you guys hear about the good lunch boxes? Yes, we talked about that a little bit earlier. We'll probably progressively talk about it just mainly because people are going to want to know, Eli, what about the lunch boxes? You going to go open some yourself? It'd be a good video to do. I mean, it's definitely something that first and foremost, I actually have some. You know, I actually have some lunch boxes downstairs. I have a case. Of lunch boxes. That might, Friday's video was going to be a video discussing, ways to sell singles and stuff like that, but it might be a good video to post on Friday instead. I have a case of it downstairs. So definitely worth it. When do you see vintage booster box prices in 5 to 10 years WotC through BW? I mean, here's the deal. At the end of the day, first and foremost, we're saying 5 to 10 years, right? The preface of time frames is usually trying to predict when we're going to have another boom in the market. Obviously, nothing is guaranteed at any point, right? But if we're saying in the next 5 to 10 years, we do have a boom, it would not surprise me if we see the price points of a lot of previous WotC sealed product hit double to triple their all-time high, right? The same thing happened, and I know this is weird to compare it to, but we talked about this early in the channel when I was talking about crypto and how it tends to follow Pokemon, which, funny enough, it does. You saw that when it came to crypto, people were saying $20,000 on Bitcoin is so high, there's no way it's going to go any higher. And obviously, it's going to probably hit $100,000 plus at some point in the future, but it hit triple, 3.5 times actually, if we're being exact, or 3.47, right? 3.49 times higher from its previous all-time high. So the possibility for something like that to occur was just because of generally more people getting into the market for crypto. And the same thing will happen with any sort of market when it comes to general demand increasing, causing prices to increase. And you could potentially see that exact same thing happen with Pokemon in a 5 to 10 year period, aka the next boom, where they could potentially 2x or 3x from the high, right? But we have to have that boom again. That's the biggest thing. Haven't sold on eBay before, but I want to try, but my friend has been on it before months and still can't even sell one card. What's a quick beginner's tip do you have? Well, I would say that if we're talking about selling singles, the question first and foremost is what price range, right? If I'm being honest, most singles that are under $5, I think it's much more worth it to sell it on TCG Player. Heck, I would say most singles are more worth it to sell it on TCG Player than eBay. The only time it's better to do it on eBay is if you can get a higher premium. So that is usually my piece of advice for that. But if we're saying I can't sell on TCG Player, I'm only going to sell on eBay, what you usually have to do is you have to be able to stand out from everyone else, right? Whether that be by offering a more competitive price, whether it be by offering pricing discount, whether it be by promoting your listing. And the thing is, you can do it for only an additional 2 to 3% more of a fee, which, you know, seems like a lot, but in reality, it's not, considering if you're trying to push volume. And at the end of the day too, when it comes to eBay, all the things I listed on standing out, this all comes at the detriment of if you're a new account and you don't have the sales volume to back it up, right? Because sales volume is going to matter when it comes to your reviews, and it's a lot harder to build that on eBay than it is with TCG Player. TCG Player's built for that, right? So, but that's my advice for eBay. But ultimately, my advice is go to TCG Player. Also, as well, make sure you're always doing tracking. That's why I say if it's under $5, it's better to do TCG Player, because from my personal experience, I've had way more trouble. Like my refund rate for customers in TCG Player is like 1 to 2%. Because of quote unquote lost product versus it was 25% for items under $5. I made the mistake of shipping without tracking information, which it's because it's expensive. I didn't realize that eBay actually sold stamps that had tracking on it. I should have looked more into that. I just used standard stamps, and I lost out on it because we had quite a bit of refunds because people never got their products. So, you know, the customer base is definitely a lot less trustworthy on eBay. But you have to be smart about it, and it's a lesson that I learned. Pokey Pack Battle says, just join the Patreon. Well, hey, thanks for joining, man. Definitely glad to have you here. And shout out to those that are obviously in the chat right now, part of the program. PSA Pikachu said he pulled like 30 Sandacondas. Who pulled 30 Sandacondas? What about Team Up? How's it going? What do you think about Fusion Strike PC ETBs on PC? I like it. I think that the art design is extremely unique. I like the cotton candy coloring of it, and I think it's going to do really well. The fact that it's honestly still up on the site, I think, is ridiculous to me. I think it should have been sold out a while ago. So it was actually sold out a while ago, and then they had some more supply they added on to the market. So it's crazy to me that it's that cheap and it's available. Gengar is a poison type in Terraform, sir. Get out of here. What do you think about Pokemon Center ETBs versus regular ETBs long term? Well, you guys know my sentiment on Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs. If you remember, going back to the inception of my channel, for those of you guys that have been following me that long, I don't know if there are a lot of you guys that have, but in terms of overall videos, I made a ridiculous amount of videos talking about my belief that Pokemon Center ETBs hypothetically were going to be the best performing ETBs. My argument for it was, one, although we don't know the general supply of Pokemon Center ETBs, one thing we do know is that they are not going to be put anywhere for sale other than Pokemon Center. So presumably speaking, you're going to have less funnels for that item to be sold, making it so that it's more than likely going to authentically increase in value over time, right? And that was a reason why I said I loved them, right? I said I loved them. And if you guys have been following my channel for a while, the biggest point of contention discussion that I talk about, which was specialty set ETBs, right? So in other words, sets such as Crown Zenith, sets such as Celebration, sets such as 151. Whenever one of these sets gets a specialty ETB, I say, guys, amazing long-term investment. I was telling people to pick up Celebrations and Crown Zenith both at 65. And for those of you that took my advice and remember the Crown Zenith call that I gave, within a month after the advice I gave, it 2x'd in profit, right? Amazing return, right? And I'm not saying that to to my own horn or pat myself on the back. But what I am saying is that history has shown that these specialty ETBs from specialty sets perform extremely well. And the ones that aren't from specialty sets, right, like, half sets, they're still going to perform well, and some of them have already performed well as they begin to sell out. It's just going to take more time to curate. But I still like them a lot, and I still think they will perform well. So I'm a fan of them. Not to mention, too, if you go typically buy them off the Pokemon Center website, you're going to have a lot easier of a time moving them for liquidity purposes. Depending upon the price point, of course, you're going to get the regular Elite Trainer box. But typically speaking, right, if we go take a look at like a Fusion Strike Elite Trainer box, right? Like, let's compare the two. So if we go say a Fusion Strike Elite Trainer box, it is currently selling right now for basically 68 bucks is what it's selling for, right? $68. I mean, let's look at recent sales. Let's actually try and be accurate with this. It's selling closer to 60. And the volume, to be fair, the volume on this, it's not that high, right? The volume on these Elite Trainer box items, they're not that high. And if we go take a look at the volume for this item, it is much higher, right? It is much, much higher. So that is another thing you also want to take into consideration when selling, when it comes to the premium of this, right? And if we're talking about picking this up, however, at wholesale, compared to picking this item up at wholesale, right? What is the point of wholesale? The wholesale point for the Fusion Strike on average is about $24.25 if you were to pick it up. The shipping cost alone is going to kill you. With this exact item, the shipping cost alone is also going to kill you as well, right? So ultimately, at the end of the day, whichever one, if we're comparing to Fusion, it's going to kill you. But as the value of both of these go up, this one is going to feel less and less painful because of the comparison that we made when it came to shipping Elite Trainer boxes versus booster boxes. We both know that Elite Trainer boxes tend to obviously cost more from a percentage perspective to ship compared to booster boxes because of the value. And so if we can find an item that has a higher value than the general percentage, it's, for example, right, it's going to cost me $10 to ship either Elite Trainer box, basically. Well, what is $10 into 70 versus $10 into 30, right? The difference between the two is either I am paying about a 15% markup for shipping or I'm paying a 30%, right? And that's stuff that matters. You have to be able to do the math on these things in the long term. But once again, going back to it, liquidity is also a thing that you have to take into consideration. There's a lot of factors at play, right? There's a lot of factors at play. You know, and but you know, ultimately at the end of the day, the point that I'm gonna make, I think they're a good pickup. I wouldn't go too heavy in it because of the fact of the matter that their volume is not as high as it is with other Pokemon Center exclusive specialty ETBs, which are the ones I like the most. So, but that will kind of wrap it up up there because I'm kind of rambling at this point. How's everyone doing? Currently on the road trip, so listen to the stream. Well, thanks, Michael. Hope you have a fun road trip. That editor should put a watermark in you guys' videos to promote himself. I don't think he needs to promote himself, dude. He's PokeRev's editor. He's doing fine. Flesh and Blood is rad. I 100% agree. What's up, Tommy? Good to see you, brother. Lurking and working, baby. Let's go, package. Open one now. Yeah, right. What's with the lunch boxes? It was recently revealed that some of the lunch boxes were potentially going to have... I'll do it for Monday's video, okay? I can do that for Monday's video. We can talk about that, right? And I will go through and I will open a case and we can see, is it 100% confirmed, right? That'll be Monday's video. Where was I in reading questions? But yeah, I'll open one for tomorrow's video. Gotta head to bed. Have a great one. Well, thanks for stopping by, Mikkel. Glad to see you as always. GameStop exclusives are also now available at distro. Yes, that is another thing too. You guys remember the here we're gonna go to GameStop. Jesus loves me. GameStop. All right, cool. We're gonna go to GameStop. So if you guys didn't know, whoa, that's a pretty good deal. Guys, these have evolving skies in them. You guys remember this, right? We made this video talking about these have evolving skies in them. There's 5 packs. Why is this still available? This is $2.80 for an evolving skies pack. Are people smoking? Jesus loves me. What is going on here? Well, I guess you're going to see it live on stream. Oh my gosh. They're selling these for $37.98 now? Holy moly, ladies and gentlemen. That's crazy. Jeez Louise. GameStop is struggling. GameStop is struggling, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my gosh. This is bad, folks. This is not looking pretty for GameStop. You guys need to take advantage of this, that's for sure. That's crazy how cheap some of these items are. Wow. GameStop is dumping the market right now. Step 1, make an eBay account. Sell $3 card. Step 3, title ad, put this card and get a wholesale membership. Yeah, right. Is opening Obsidian Flames booster packs gay? Yeah. I don't know how to answer that question. If by gay you mean it could go both ways, then yes. That's pretty funny. That's good. Best booster box to invest in right now. I'm hearing LO, Fusion Strike, ST. Right now, by far, it's LO and ST. But if we're talking after those two, I really like Paldea. I like Paldea. People might think that's a hot take for the price, but I like Paldea. Like I said before, though, I think you're going to have a lot of time to invest in a lot of these Scarlet and Violet. So focusing more on the Sword and Shield era is what I like more. That's just me personally. You know, and in terms of other Sword and Shield era booster boxes, is there ones at a different price point than I like? Not really. I mean, let's think. Silver Tempest and Lost Origin, best bang for your buck by far. Astral's going up. Brilliant is going up. I mean, Brilliant, I guess, would be the next best one for the price point, but I just like Silver and Lost Origin price point so much better. So it's hard for me to say go get Brilliant, right? Roaring Moon ETB looks sick. I agree. Yeah, the cards in the set look so good. I don't think it's possible for PC ETBs to go under the $60 mark because PC doesn't discount. It's possible. It's not necessarily impossible, but yes, more or less, there is a slight premium just based on the fact that you can't get it anywhere else. Let's go, baby. New binder. It's pretty cool, Doppel. I've heard some people don't get Evolving Skies. Really, that's a good point of contention, ladies and gentlemen. Know that it's not guaranteed. Are you buying at these prices? I mean, if I'm being honest, I'm mainly buying Silver Tempest and Lost Origin. That's what I'm buying a crap ton of. I mean, literally, if you go look at where I'm storing all of my stuff, it's just cases and cases and cases of both of those booster boxes. Like, I'm sitting on a ridiculous amount of these booster boxes because of how much I believe in them. So, yeah. So when I made that video yesterday, right, and I talked about this well before I made that video because I've been talking about this for months now since we heard news that it was going to get a reprint. So for me, this is not new. I said when this reprint happened, it was going to be one of the best potential opportunities. And for me personally, I'm putting my money where my mouth is, and I am going in. Now, you can look at this either one of two ways, right? You can say, and this is the game that's played, well, Eli, because you're invested in it, you're just trying to pump the market. Or if I wasn't in it, then, oh, Eli, you're not invested in it, which means that you don't actually believe in what you say because you're not putting your money where your mouth is, right? It's going to be one or the other. People are going to say I'm manipulating the market one way or another. Freaking cares, right? I don't care. I'm buying it because I'm buying it, and you can either join me or you can not join me. That's up to you, right? This is not financial advice, even though the meme makes it seem like it is. I am just going to do me, and if you want to, you know, if you want to follow me in this process, right, then you can. But obviously we have free will for a reason. Collectible Accounting says, how many collectors versus investors do you think are in the hobby? I think largely, I think by far there's much more collectors than investors. I think that there are obviously investors that are like, okay, here's something people don't realize. And this might be a hot take. What do you consider to be a collector versus an investor? Because I would argue that every storefront's an investor. Because the amount of individuals that I've talked to that are storefront owners that buy one of each case from every new set just to hold on to, or just basically have supply that they sit on, couldn't sell it, and they just wait to sell it for when it's profitable for their store because they have liquidity to sit on it. Does that make them an investor? You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing, is what do we define as an investor in that context? Because then by far, yeah, we have more investors, but it's more or less just storefronts being a storefront and selling what they can do without taking huge losses, right? But in terms of the overall collector base, there's by far a much bigger collector base if you don't consider storefronts to be investors. But if you do, then it's by far investors. Hi, Eli. Do you have any stores signed up for your distro program? We have a ton of stores. So the biggest thing I would say that we've, at least from my personal experience, right, within the distro program that I've seen, is I see the distro program as a place that people use for getting allocations until they open their own shop. Like, we had one customer who was with the distro program for at least 4 to 5 months. Hate to see him go. He was a really cool guy. But he was using our program until he got a storefront. And he got a storefront, so he didn't need us anymore, right? He got enough allocations. Or for those people that do have storefronts, right? And they can't get allocations because most distributors won't allocate storefronts for the first 6 months. And so they need to find a way to get allocated product, right? Otherwise, you're paying premiums to get it. So they used our program to supplement it, right? So it's one of those things where there's a lot of people that own storefronts that are in the program that's exactly what they use the program for. So it's cool to see. It's nice to know that you're helping other storefronts out. You think a CR, so I assume Chilling Reign, or a sealed case at $500 a fair price to sell at? Do I think CR sealed case a $500 price to sell at? I mean, what's it going for right now? I mean, I think it's a little high considering the fact of the matter that it's going for $500 if you're going to buy it at TCG Player. And usually, unless you're going to go sell on a TCG Player, you want to compete with TCG Player. So that's my thought process, right? So it's tough. You know, not to mention too, if I'm correct, depending upon the distributor, it's still on distribution at some places. It's selling for $400, of course, last time I checked. So we'll have to see if it's still available. Someone in the program will have to tell me if we still have it on the sheet or not. But, you know, last time I checked, it was still available. So some places are, I mean, you're going to see the price point be more competitive because it's showing up at distribution now within the past couple of weeks. But yeah, I think you're just a little too high on that one, my guy. I think you got to definitely come down a little bit on that if you're trying to be competitive, just based on the fact that unless you're selling on TCG Player prices, unless you're selling on TCG Player, then you can't expect to sell it for TCG Player prices. I mean, maybe you could try and go local and compete, but I mean, even then, it's like that's a really, really, tough one to sell. Unless people are like, well, I'll pay that much just because it's in person and I can have it in my hand right now, So there's that. Any advice for Japanese sets to collect right now? I want to have at least one in my collection. Well, I am not a huge Japanese collector, so I'm not the best person to ask. But I would say that in terms of collections, the specialty ones are definitely the best to collect by far. V-Star Universe, VMAX Climax, 151, these are all amazing ones that people enjoy to collect. Hopefully Paradox turns things around. Just pre-ordered 2 PC ETBs, one of each. I think it's less of a we're waiting for a set that's going to turn things around and more of a market sentiment. That's the thing. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, that's what's going to change things. It's the overall market sentiment. Because even if we come up with the most amazing set of all time, right, in the Sword and Shield era, it's not going to, or the Scarlet and Violet era, it's not going to change things overall, right? You look at what happened in Sun and Moon. When Hidden Fates came out, it performed ridiculously well, right? And when Roaring Skies came out in the XY era, it performed ridiculously well too. Same as Evolving Sky or Evolutions. Yeah. So you're going to have these sets within each generation that is going to perform extremely well, but it's not going to make the rest of the era just rise up, right? It's not going to make it to where all of a sudden we're back and boom because this one set brought us there, right? So it's going to be a set that's going to be more expensive than other sets because of it, and it's going to hopefully feed into more volume, and there's going to be more money to be made with that one set. But it's like outside of that, you know, we can't just kind of focus on one set trying to save the era. Can you talk about rotations, when they will be announced? Could be a video worthy topic. Yes. So Michael, I mean, you've been following me for a while, obviously, Michael. I talk about it all the time. The biggest thing right now is that when it comes to rotation, sorry, I hurt my elbow. Sorry for the squeak. So right now, we know that when it came to the rotation this last time around, the standard rotation for 2023 was in April 14th, 2023. Already said that, right? In terms of the overall next standard rotation, we have zero news about when it's going to happen next. And to my knowledge, I can't remember. Is Worlds still going on, or did Worlds just end? I'm pretty certain it's about to end. But as far as it goes, my kind of belief is that we were waiting to hear news from Worlds on if standard rotation was going to end this coming September and if they were going to change it, or if they were going to make it into the first set of the new year. So far, we haven't heard any news, so I am starting to feel more like it's going to be the start of the new year. And now, for those people that are wondering why this matters, the Pokemon Company, historically speaking, has only reprinted, I think, once in history, a set that is not in the standard rotational format for the competitive play, right? And that was Evolutions. And even then, I mean, I don't even think they did it for booster boxes. It was like literally as it was about to go out of rotation. So I don't know if I would even count that, right? But with that being said, when determining what sets are worth picking up for the price point and whether I think they have a possibility of potentially going and popping off, right? It's good to be extremely conservative and look at. Can you please stop spamming ooh in the chat? And look at, okay, well, if this set is no longer going to get any more print, then it's more than likely going to either go sideways for a little bit or go up from here, right? And so right now, the current rotation is anything from battle styles to newer, right? Battle styles to newer in rotation. Once rotation happens, then it is official. We are now going to have Evolving Skies be out of rotation. That's it. No more Evolving Skies out of rotation. No more Fusion Strike in rotation. It's not getting a print. You want to talk about a crazy conspiracy theory that I have, and I've been thinking about this more and more. With the negative sentiment in the market, the Pokemon Company needs to do something that is going to make it so that the steam is not going to run out. And I understand that they're pushing Scarlet and Violet pretty heavily, but right now I'm starting to see the curtain fall, at least from my general perspective. This is obviously a complete theory, putting on my tinfoil hat. Shout out to Mason if he's here. But here's my thoughts. For the longest time, we were waiting for reprints, and they didn't come forever. And now we're finally getting these reprints for Sword and Shield era product. It took years before it happened. Why did it take so long? I think the Pokemon Company was aware of the fact. I think they're playing 5D chess. I think they're aware that Scarlet and Violet first couple sets were going to be seen negatively, and the transition with the new MSRP pricing was going to be difficult for a lot of people to swallow. And so I feel as if their move was to let the price of a lot of these booster boxes run up for Sword and Shield era stuff, while Scarlet and Violet prices, right, were extremely expensive or extremely dumping. And what they were going to do was reprint these Sword and Shield era booster boxes, Elite Trainer boxes, etc., in an attempt to sell them to distribution and retailers in bundle deals with Scarlet and Violet product to be able to push Scarlet and Violet product more onto the market. Because if you were a part of the program when we had our first bundle deal to get Lost Origin and Silver Tempest booster boxes at $92 in the wholesale program, or $91, I can't remember, you had to also buy Scarlet and Violet booster boxes for $91 a piece. And so that was something they were doing to push Scarlet and Violet era product, and it feels as if they're doing the same thing with Sword and Shield. And so this might sound crazy to say, but considering the fact that we have no news of the rotation ending in the next month after Worlds, and me thinking now it's more than likely going to be early next year, there is still a possibility that the Pokemon Company looks at Scarlet and Violet and sees it performing poorly, and it continues to perform poorly, and says, we need to do an Evolving Skies reprint. And that might sound crazy. That might sound crazy to say, but guys, it's still in rotation. It's still a possibility, as long as it's in the rotation, right? And I know as far as it stands right now, too, we have yet to get an item within the E-Wave to get reprinted, right? Because obviously Brilliant and On is the only booster boxes that have been reprinted so far. So it's entirely possible that they're not looking at it that way. But I'm just letting people know that it's entirely possible for them to still reprint these Sword and Shield era products that are in rotation. You know, like I said, this is tinfoil hat theory. Let's take everything I say with a grain of salt, right? But it's just something that if you're looking at what the Pokemon Company is doing, they're subsidizing the pain of Scarlet and Violet by making people take Sword and Shield era booster box reprints from distribution in order to push Scarlet and Violet product onto the market. It just makes sense. It just makes sense, right? That's what they're doing. They're bundling Scarlet and Violet product with Sword and Shield reprints to push Scarlet and Violet. So if it really gets that bad, it would not surprise me if the Pokemon Company was like in their back pocket, they've got an ace up their sleeve and it's an Evolving Skies reprint if things get bad economically for them. Yeah, hey, I appreciate that, Timo. Thank you, Dad. Thanks, Dad. I think it's a fine line between people naturally loving collecting, but still considering it as an investment, whether it's true or copium. You know? There's always a point of contention with that. Most people I know are collectors and investors, and they can go hand in hand. There's a ton of people holding bags right now, waiting to get out. But there's also a ton of people waiting to get in because there's always going to be an entry point and an exit point. It just depends on what the price is, right? How do you think Lorcana will affect Pokemon? I mean, as far as how Lorcana has been rolled out, it's been an absolute disaster. It's a nightmare right now, so I don't think it's going to do anything. I think until something happens. Lorcana is the MetaZoo no one will care about in 6 months. I don't know. I mean, MetaZoo's in Walmart. But yeah, it's a good, I think it's bold to say that people are not going to care about Lorcana. I think they just had a terrible rollout and they need to get their crap together because they drastically underprinted and underestimated the overall drastically underestimated the overall demand. I feel Paldea Evolved is a great set and has the full storyline of the partners and isn't these new partners Pokemon, the main ones of the new series, since Ash has ended, wouldn't the set be a set for the kids, teens that are in animation, like the new Bulb, Charizard, Squirtle? I couldn't answer that because I just don't follow the new anime. So I wish I could answer that. So I'm not 100% certain. Do we think that Pokemon is capable of playing chess? Well, considering the fact of the matter that the Pokemon Company preemptively plans prints typically a year in advance, it would not surprise me that the Pokemon Company isn't at least somewhat aware of situations going on economically. They aren't taking these factors into consideration. You would have to be an absolute idiot greed monster not to take it in the slightest bit into consideration. I don't think that's the Pokemon Company. Is anyone actually a fan of the new designs with the hats? Like Terra is a good idea typing, but they just killed it for me. I don't care about the pack party because of that. I don't care to open a pack much, partly because of that. Wow, I had a stroke reading that. My bad. No, that's fair. I mean, when I talk about the designs, I want people to understand I'm not talking about the Terras. I'm talking about the SIRs. The SIRs are gorgeous. But at the end of the day, Boondock, nothing in Evolving Skies is meta, but nothing in Evolving Sky, nothing in oh my God, I'm having a stroke right now. Nothing in Evolutions was meta when it got its massive reprint, right? But yet they still did it. And back in the day, they never reprinted sets that were expensive unless it was for the purpose of making it better for the competitive player. Hidden Fates has, you know, to my knowledge, when it was out, nothing was competitive during that time as well. But Hidden Fates got a reprint after it shot up to $300, right? I mean, arguably speaking, the most competitive sets in the meta were Rebel Clash and Sword and Shield Base for the longest time, and it never got a reprint. So just because it's competitive doesn't mean it's going to get reprinted or it's not going to get reprinted, right? I think people put too much stock in the Pokemon Company reprinting sets based off of it mattering what the player base cares about. They don't care about that. They care about the collector base just as much as they do the player base. It's more or less how can they balance that without crashing the market for the player base as well as the collector base. They're just trying to balance that out. I think I'm reaching. They need a Forest Seal stop. I just asked the Pokemon Company to give me 2 weeks to turn all over my... Yeah, right. I do not speak Japanese. No, I do not. I apologize. I don't know why they thought it was okay to put rare trainers in one set that's meta. In competitive deck, it's literally 3/4. It's literally half to 3/4 the deck's cost. I mean, yeah, it's expensive, but we did just have a Silver Tempest reprint, so hopefully prices for it will drop. Evolutions was a special novelty set, but recent example is Roaring Skies. Evo Skies is not Roaring Skies in terms of playable cards. Well, yeah, exactly. That's why I just gave multiple different examples. Roaring Skies got reprinted because it was extremely competitive with the Shaman card, right? It was an amazing card. That's what the Crobat was inspired off of. It was basically a reprint version, but of that card. But they addressed it better with trainer toolkits and other items, right? So that's why it got a reprint. Evolutions got a reprint because it was a specialty set that performed really well. Sun and Moon Hidden Fates got a reprint because it was a set that performed really well. Rebel Clash and Sword and Shield Base, both sets that are competitively viable and arguably the most competitively viable sets in the Sword and Shield era before they went out of rotation, they never got reprints. And we had Scoop Up Nets going for $5 a pop. That's ridiculous. Pokemon Company didn't care. $5 a pop, and that was after they threw them into trainer toolkits. Who cares, right? You could open trainer toolkits and get them like free money, right? It was nice. And people just didn't take advantage of that. And in terms of the overall like look of how they've gone and reprinted things right now, obviously the last 4 sets that they've printed, they all have competitive cards within them. But to be fair, when they reprinted Chilling Reign into the ground, Chilling Reign doesn't have like that many heavy cards that are competitive. Maybe you can say the Calorexes and you can say the Fog Crystals, but they already had the V Battle decks at that point. So there was no need to reprint it, but they did, right? Battle Styles competitive cards were already dirt cheap. There was no point of reprinting Battle Styles again. I mean, it doesn't matter. People look too far deep into it. That's my point. All trainer/tools needs to use. Yeah, those toolkits were positive EV for a minute. And what's crazy is distribution was offering them as well for free if you bought a booster box of either Chilling Reign, Fusion Strike, or Chilling Reign, Fusion Strike, or Battle Styles at wholesale. You picked it up at wholesale, you got a trainer toolkit for free. So talk about money, dude. Oh, I have so many of those promos too, man. What's up, Necro? Thanks for stopping by, brother. You did not miss the show. We're here, ladies and gentlemen. We're here. I think like a non-holo uncommon and a holo rare version, it would be cool if they definitely had, I mean, change the rarities of it all, right? How is the Forest Seal performing with Silver Tempest? That's a good question to ask ourselves, right? If we go cards, Jesus loves me. It's not doing anything. It's still going down. I mean, Forest Seal holofoil market price is $13.37, and it does not look like it's slowing down. That's crazy. It's not easy to pull too. I opened 100 packs and didn't pull a single one, so it's not as easy as it seems. Yeah, that is a little outrageous. How's Obsidian doing? How are the singles in Obsidian performing? That's the real question here. Gita just absolutely walloped. I mean, this set is being walloped. I mean, SIRs in this set are going for dirt cheap. It's crazy. Yeah, this set is just not performing, man. It's just not performing. I mean, Paldea is holding stronger than this, and Paldea has taken a huge dive. I mean, you guys remember when we had the Iono for 160, 170, and the Magikarp was selling for 80 bucks? I mean, these cards have dropped 33 to 50% in value. Iono, the regular Iono has held up well. Iono overall has held up well, but also that's because it also has playability. But yeah, a lot of these cards are dipping, man. But this at least is holding up better than, you know, than Obsidian. And I say that with the context of Obsidian being a new set and the fact that it's already struggling as much as it is. And this is a set that's been out for a while now, so it's had plenty of time to drop and it's holding up stronger. Obsidian's just giving up. Charizard EX is rebounding because it's low quantity. Let's go take a look at that. You know, it's funny you guys say that. I was able to get a hold and open some Obsidian, and dude, I pulled the Charizard twice in like 50 packs. This was so easy to pull. Maybe I just got super lucky, but that's weird because there's quite a bit of it. Nah, don't need instant response. Well, I said I obviously answered, but we can talk about this more average player when I get done with the stream. We can talk about this a little bit more. I'm very much interested in that. Roger that. Zup, Eli, is LO booster boxes drying up at distro yet? Well, Roger, yes and no. So we have every one of so I have 2 distributors that right now have LO. 2 of them have sold out completely of LO, right? One of them you would originally have to have bought for 128, but I was able to create an agreement with my distributor to get a deal if we picked up a large amount of them. So I was able to negotiate the price of LO down to 109. So if you join the program, you can actually get it for cheaper than if you had a distributor with my specific distributor, just based on the fact that we were able to negotiate cheaper prices. So if you didn't take that pricing into consideration, then I would not even consider it because of how expensive they're charging for LO right now. So in terms of the overall supply of LO right now, I mean, obviously the price point is still correcting, but it's still an item that in the next 2 to 3 months is going to go out of stock, and then it's just going to kind of turn around. Lost box. Now that the Mew deck was Buster upon the release of Fusion. Yeah. Definitely a set they rely too heavily on Charizard's Flashfire 2.0. I compared it to Flashfire, man. People thought that was a weird comparison, but it was a perfect comparison. It literally is the perfect comparison to Flashfire. You take a look at this set. What does it have? Charizard, 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 Charizard. What does Flashfire have as a set? When we compare it, right? Charizard, 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 Charizard. Literally identical set. Incredible. The only difference is this one has a Mega Kangaskhan. Oh my god, let's get excited for Mega Kangaskhan. That's so cool. Yeah. Everyone loves Kangaskhan, right? Everyone gets so hyped for Kangaskhan. No one gives a crap. No one cares. No one cares. Sorry. Like Pidgeot, it's a Gen 1 Pokemon. It's performing better because it's a Gen 1 Pokemon, but it's like past that, no one cares, right? They butchered Tyranitar. They could have put it in an SIR and they didn't. They said, F you, you're getting a little stupid crown. It's Drag Queen Story Hour with Pokemon, where all of our Tyranitars and all of our favorite Pokemon are going to be down with the crown. I'm just like, what? Like, why? What is up with this? Like, it's crazy. These crowns look so special. Like, I don't know, man. It's just not good. It's just not good, man. Raz says they're selling in bundles only. Yes. Yeah. No, 100%. Roger, they're not selling LO unless you're doing a bundle. But like I said, with the deal that we're doing, you know, it's technically bundled, but I don't know. Do you care about Battle Academies? Because at the end of the day, with the bundle, you're buying it for $87.50 is how much you can buy LO for, right? But it comes with 2 Battle Academies, which brings the price up to $109 a box, right? So it just depends. Do you want to do the math on that, right? If you can sell the Battle Academies, then obviously, you know, you're getting LO for $87.50, which is cheaper than you can get anywhere and it's not even a question, right? But if you can't sell the Battle Academies, then it's like, you're basically getting for 109, right? Which reminds me, speaking of which, I have an announcement. No, it is not pertaining to Obsidian Flames, for those of you guys that are in the program. But I have an announcement pertaining to shipping stuff that I will be making later, so get excited for that. It is extremely good news, and everyone's going to be really happy about it. So I'll have to make an announcement about it after the stream. Maybe I'll talk about it a little bit on stream, but I'm excited. That's all I can say. Draw power is insane on majority decks. It's one set. Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, the draw power with the fusion synergy and Genesect is stupid. I hate that deck with a burning passion. Yeah, it's gonna be in play for a while. Will it be flash fire price in long term though, Eli? Probably. Honestly, probably. Like in 20 years from now, 10 years from now, probably. How old is Flashfire? Flashfire is a 9-year-old set. It's only 9 years old and it's going for like 3K. Why is this set any different? It's not. It's not. That's why I think it's going to be that's why I think it's going to be that good. The mega cards are sick though. I do love mega cards. I love mega cards. Don't make it seem as if I'm hating on megas, because I love megas. I wish they brought them back. I'm just saying Kangaskhan, no one cares. Charizard EX 125. The double rare. Yeah, I never pulled it. Granted, I didn't really open a ton of packs, but you know, because I'm still waiting to get my Obsidian Flame. Anyway. Down with the crown, baby. Megas were so cool, then they went to Z moves. I know, what an idiot play, dude. Megas were so good. Megas were the best. I love that gimmick. Down with the crown, getting early colonial vibes. Dump the day. Funny. Sell the Battle Academies. Are you joking? But Timo, but it's not even a question of sell them. It's a question of can you sell them? Because basically what I tell people is, hey, sure, you get the booster boxes for $87.50, 2 Battle Academies to boot, pumping you up to 109, right? But I look at it as you're getting a Lost Origin for 109, and then you're getting fuel for the winner this upcoming season. Because you might as well just burn them. Thoughts on Paradox Pokemon? Will it boost interest in Scarlet and Violet era? I think that it could be interesting to see. But I will refrain from answering because we just don't know what the rest of them look like. And the memes that I've been seeing about the Raikou have been bad. People are not a fan of the Raikou. I don't think it's that bad. I think that it's an interesting concept, and I think it could be really cool. I think it could be really cool. And it could also be terrible. Kind of like with the Terra-type Pokemon. Terra-type Pokemon was an amazing concept that they absolutely destroyed. My fiance literally, like, she works for me, right? She does Pokemon. She likes Pokemon, but does she avidly collect? No. But she took one look at the crown Pokemon with Terra types and said, this is one of the ugliest things I've ever seen in my entire life. And I'm like, you agree with like 100% of the hobby right now. I wish Asmondi distro in Europe works like that. It does in the US. Here, ordering more doesn't necessarily increase the amount of... Well, you also have to understand, average player, that I am the 3rd largest supplier in the Southwest, specifically with my one distributor. And so I am able to negotiate that because of the leverage and power buying power that we have as a group, right? That's why. That's why we're able to negotiate that. And sometimes we will get better deals than other people because I will go to my rep and say, hey, I want to purchase X amount. And so we do that and get a discounted rate. Path to the Peak series specifically targeting kids to encourage new TCG players. Well, speaking of targeting new TCG players, with the bundled deal, we should hopefully achieve most of the battle academies. People obviously have no need for them, and I'm probably going to end up giving a lot of them away to charity or like local hospitals, hoping that it'll get some kids into the game and help out the player base. If there was 1 to 3 packs in battle academies, would have at least made it possible. Oh my gosh, yeah, imagine. Then you could just break it down and keep the packs at least. I joined just to tell everyone that you're better off investing in a job. I did, and now I don't have to worry about what to buy and when. I just buy it all. Not a bad point. Yeah, right. Necro gets it. In this economy? Psh. Sheesh. Yeah, man. It's crazy to see how things are too right now. Just the overall market sentiment. It's I don't know, it's interesting. Obviously, you know my stance. I'm a huge believer in Pokemon long term. No doubt about that. But I'd be lying if I said I don't get a little nervous about what's going to happen in the US economically speaking and how that could affect things. But as far as it goes right now, right? You just take it day by day and you can't kind of try and say, oh yeah, I'm planning for the next recession. I'm planning for the next, great recession, because people were saying back in 2017, 2018, oh, the housing market, it's getting expensive, man. We've got a recession around the corner again. It's not over. We're going to have another one. 2019. Oh, another recession. Oh, 2020. Oh, another recession. It's coming. It's coming. And people played that game for 6-7 years, right? Does it feel more like a possibility more and more as time goes by? Yeah. But I mean, it's probably how the people in 2017, 2018 felt. So I just take what's in front of me and I just keep rolling, but learn to be still, not over leveraging myself. Yes, this is USA. USA #1. No, I'm just kidding. Has anyone seen The Dictator? Does anyone get that reference? Do you think that the great pull rates from Obsidian Flames will help the long term or hurt it? I don't think it's going to matter. I don't think anyone's going to care about it in the long term. They're going to look at the set and see what the cards are inside. Does it have a Charizard? It does. Cool. Thanks. Awesome. Sweet. It's kind of it. It's honestly it. The only thing that people need to understand where opening matters in a set is decreasing the supply. The more that the supply decreases because of people opening the product, the faster the value of the item will go up. And that's the thing, is if you say to yourself, oh, it's got better pull rates, people are going to want more of it, right? But at the end of the day, it's like, it just matters how good the set is, and it has Charizards in it, and so long-term, people are going to want to go back to it. That's just it. That's just honestly it, right? Regardless of if the pull rates are good or not. That's why Lost Origin has performed extremely well, even though the pull rates, for at least in my personal experience, have been atrocious with alternate arts. Hermit knows the scoop. It has to be pointy. Yeah, right. I make way too many movie references all the time, or TV show references. But yeah, it'll do well. It's gonna just be Flashfire 2.0. That's literally what this is. It's Flashfire 2.0 in a nutshell, which is funny. Flashfire 2.0. I hope Paradox is going to do well. I know we're looking at 151 right now. 151 is the next concern that people have. We're like, yes, 151. 151's the next best thing. We're all waiting for it. You know, hoping it's going to be a smash success. I mean, just considering the fact of the hype that we had from Japan, you'd like to believe it, right? It's going to do really well, but only time's going to really tell with that. But yeah, only time's going to tell with that. Let's take a look and see if there's anything else worth noticing in the market. Obsidian, we already talked about that. Ultra premiums, they're, I mean, going back to 151, man, it's already sub MSRP. Evolving's doing evolving things still. Paldea's still the same. Scarlet's still the same. Lost Origin's gone down slightly. Silver Tempest has gone down slightly. Actually, Lost Origin's gone down quite a bit. It was like 138 yesterday. So now at 132. Silver Tempest has gone down by like $1 or $2 though, so it hasn't really done much. Brilliant, still going sideways. Crown Zenith prices are still up even on pre-order. Astral's performing, dude. Astral's performing. It's going up. Don't sleep on Astral. Bulk trainer right now? Iono, probably. How much are Ionos going for again? I'd probably say Iono if I were to guess. I mean, because we're saying bulk, so I assume you mean uncommon, not rare, obviously. Do you think the rampant homeless... That's a very specific question. I think that... I think that at the end of the day, people had a lot of money because a lot of money was pumped into the economy. And that money is going to run out for a lot of people. We are looking at inflation continuing to go down by general metrics. However, of that, the highest point of contention in inflation right now is by far real estate. That is a huge factor that's still playing into inflation and the cost of living. That is what I'm more concerned about. And what's going on with that. You can't eat Pokemon cards, but you can get fiber. The 2023 toolkits don't have Iono either. RIP. I know, right? I mean, at least they have the Arceus V and V-Stars, right? That's at least good that they have those to be able to get value out of. And they have a decent amount of good trainers. They have Nest Balls. How much are Nest Balls going for right now? We should definitely look at that. How are Nest Balls? Nest Balls are... Dude, Nest Balls are holding so strong, man. Nest Balls are just holding. Like, they're going for $1 a piece. Recent sales, folks. Nest Balls are strong, and you can get those in the trainer toolkits. Yeah, I mean, you're definitely going over those Ionos and you're going for those nest balls. Those are the two you're looking for. It's just holding so well. And I mean, it's not even close thereafter. Judge, 23 cents. I mean, it's not bad, but like, it's not nest ball. I don't even think there's a single uncommon that's anywhere remotely close in Obsidian. Yeah, not even close. Obsidian's a bust for competitive play. Yeah, this is just not it. It's just not it. Let's see, is there any other things that are worth discussing about today, ladies and gentlemen? I don't think really. I guess we can take a look and see if there's anything Pokebeach has. Jesus loves me. I keep doing that. I keep elbowing the table. Gosh dang it. Not really. Not really that. So I think we'll probably wrap it up a little bit early here today. But obviously get your last questions in before we wrap things up, folks. So if you have any questions or any comments or points of discussion that you want to talk about, let us know. This could be really sick. This is the potential to be really sick. Man, I hope this is good. Aspect mechanics are returning. That's cool. These cards making a comeback, baby. Right? Yes, you should sell your bulk cards. Only if it's worth your time, though. Decide what makes it worth it. All right, folks. I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Want to thank you guys all so much for stopping by. Make sure you leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe if you want to enter into the weekly giveaways. We also do Twitter giveaways. Make sure to check that out. And outside of that, Patreon is the place to be if you want to access Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic, so much more at wholesale, especially considering we also have Crown Zenith, Lost Origin, Silver Tempest right now available at wholesale prices. But that is all for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Until